Yes? Yeah?
Yeah, apparently alive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I need to shut that door there.
Yeah, you do. You bitch.
Hey. Hey. You watch your fucking language.
Wrong shut.
Yeah, this is the episode where we swear and we get into it.
I forgot we was gonna pull this up, but whatever.
We're gonna do one episode of the Foally of Man like it's InfoWars.
They need to rip your shirt apart.
The Zebra Scourge!
Okay, so at least we can
I can't make my face. I can't drink enough bourbon to make my face red enough to look like Alex Jones. Can't do it. I can already hear the smarmy comments about me having a bandana on, like right now.
Okay. See that?
Yes.
Patrons.
Oh, clever.
Yeah.
Yes, lovely.
Okay.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
That background breaks my heart. It just looks so bad.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get it to
Okay.
adjust.
We do the other way, how we did before.
Yeah, there you go. Shock the system.
Shock to the system.
You know what? It worked.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I say, looks pretty good. Now watch. Old white boy McGee over here is gonna crawl on, gonna lurch into screen and throw off the color again.
Hold on. I've got to get on camera.
It says, is your mic plugged in? Well, that's not good.
Well, I can hear. I mean, are you talking about to me or to him?
Yeah, might want to clarify. I mean, it sounded right to me.
Yeah, I was just playing on my phone, so it's right.
Scooch a little closer in. We need to get. You could hear Chris better than Robert? That's not good. That means it's taking your input from the computer.
Joy.
That's exactly what that means.
Hold on.
Someday.
It's not pulling the audio from there.
Well,
Hold on. Let me hear myself. Welcome to the Foally Man, where we always have audio problems. No, sounds fine to me. I think what happened is I need to turn that off. Or turn that on. Talk. Yeah, see,
Check.
It's pulling from those microphones.
yeah, these are treated as a single input.
I think Stephen S. is messing with us.
I
That's
hope
what
not.
think. Yeah. Or I fixed it.
Old. Love that this show's got memes. I'm just waiting for somebody to make a meme image of Catholic Bloom.
I feel like Moonblaze was talking about, the
somebody's
weirdness of how you could justify Christianity in the Pony universe. Well, I'm afraid we already have Catholic Bloom, so justify away.
She doesn't believe in Celestia. She does believe in Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And he's this strange creature called a human.
Yeah, background's still shit. Oh well.
Maybe they were just behind. Disappointment. I know.
Disappointed!
Thank you, Kevin Sorbo.
Thank you.
All right, let's rip the Band-Aid off.
Welcome,
Oh, for God's sakes, not that fucking shit again. We're going to do it quiet, and you're going to do it right.
Welcome again, everyone, to the next episode of The Foally. You said quiet.
Can we just do, we do voices in the show. Let's just have a normal start to the show.
I just want you to know that you should welcome to the Foally of Man.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of The Foally of Man.
The Foally of
I am
Man.
your host, Robert, along with my co-host, Chris. Are you like my hype man? Are you like the guy at the back who's going like, Straight to hell. Amen, brother. We are the collective Foally of Man. Chris is a Brony, and I am not.
I'd like to make a correction. We're all the Foally of
Oh,
Man.
great.
Everyone out there, you're all Foally of Men.
In the great cult that is the Foally of Man, we, the we plural, the royal we, are Foally of Man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we are Legion.
Yes. We are the voice. Got to understand it.
So the crux of this show, we'll recap real quickly, is we review My Little Pony fan fiction. And if that's a problem, goodbye. But specifically My Little Pony fan fiction that blends My Little Pony and the video game Fallout and marries them together in a dystopian wasteland that shows you friendship is magic, but ain't nobody got friends out there. Although occasionally there are moments where it's like, you got a friend in me. You may be blowed up and you're splody too. I got a stim pack and I'm sticking it in you. All right, I really don't.
I still want to hear Randy Newman cover Hurt.
I hurt myself today to see if I still breathe. So the impetus for the show was a source text by Kit-Kat called Fallout Equestria. We have in successive seasons covered Pink Eyes, written by Mime-Zinga, and this season we are covering Project Horizons by Somber.
I don't have a physical book for Project Horizons, so.
And nor do I. I don't have a physical book for any of this.
Get good.
I was going to say, yeah, right. I've had to borrow them from you or listen to the few fan-made audiobooks. So, in this week, we are covering Chapter 10 in Project Horizons.
It's a wonderful little ditty.
And
In fact, it's an all over the place little ditty.
So, Chapter 10, pretty good.
Yeah.
Episode over.
I thank you everybody for stopping by.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, a lot of, you know.
And roll it.
Yeah, it's like, if anybody needs me, I'll be in my trailer. It's like sex. It's a lot of foreplay, and then we just,
Just when you think things are going your way, nothing happens.
Yeah, we spend our load, and it's over. And then it's just a bunch of crying and not making eye contact, and nothing better than an apology at the end of sex. Isn't that great?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to give you all those orgasms.
I feel like the only appropriate apology accent is Liverpoolian.
Liverpudlian?
Yes.
Liverpudlian?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to all of your face too. I'm sorry.
I feel like you are not one, but all of the Beatles at the same time.
We are the Beatles.
And that's what's even more upsetting about that is I feel like you're about to try and finger me. There's just something about it. Maybe I know too much about John Lennon. So, we start the chapter. Let's finish. So, Chapter 9 ended with a bunch of innocent, slave, blind zebras being murdered.
Yeah.
As we find out, though...
That guy is kind of an asshole.
But also a zebra. Yeah, he's a real dickhead, right?
He really is.
Yeah, an invisible assassin is just like... They're your own kind, but you still see them as betrayers to the zebra crown, right?
Yeah, the zebra crown that doesn't exist anymore.
For 200 years later.
Yeah.
It's dumb. I mean,
dumb.
Now what happens in the story isn't dumb. It's just it's a dumb shit that this character's like hanging on to that, right?
I really want to imagine that
Lancer is his character.
I really want to imagine Lancer is like the neo-Nazi. I'm talking about like the weird
right.
meth addict.
Right, the original Nazis are long dead, but this is just like a cosplayer who's all
No,
worked
not
up.
even the cosplayer. I'm talking about like the guy who does like meth and has the Nazi shit in his house, and like talks about how the white race will come again, but he's like missing all of his teeth, and he's just
This sounds like you're speaking from personal experience, or shall I say personal exposure to someone like this.
I probably have.
But enough about Madison County, North Carolina.
Madison County. I take that back. I don't know how many Nazis. I don't think there are many Nazis in Madison County, but there's certainly a lot of meth addicts.
That's a lot of meth. If you're into meth, man, that is your fucking Vegas right there.
Mars Hill, the Vegas of meth. You got me, metal.
All right, so Lancer's a dickhead, and he shoots Blackjack in the back and kills all these zebras, and then runs off into the night, snickering, "Ha ha ha! I've done the bidding of my ancient dead king."
Take that, betrayers.
Take that, patriarchy. Actually, in My Little Pony,
Seabriarchy.
it would be matriarchy because it's their whole society is matriarchal.
I don't know about
Anyways.
the Zebra Society.
So what we basically come into in this chapter is like a fever dream. Blackjack is going in and out of consciousness over and over again, being held down on a bed, and
Forced
crap.
against her will
the
into memory
Pegasus, Morning Glory, is operating on her, and she's like,
I want to thank the Academy real quick for the fact that not once has Robert confusedly said Little Pip, or even gotten close.
I'm working real hard. I want to say the
You need
LP. I want to say LP real hard.
really big.
But it's like I've created a mental tick. If you've noticed, before I say blackjack, I get blackjack. It's like a little wince because I'm like, I want to say LP. I'm not
Because
even going to say LP.
she's watching us is why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's watching everyone
She's always watching.
all the time.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
staring right into your soul right now.
Little Pip is who George Orwell was warning us about in 1984.
Oh, I meant Blackjack.
Oh, blackjack's watching.
Oh, yeah, she's behind us.
Yeah! Jesus Christ! You could have told me ahead of time.
Well, I invited her. She's just kind of shy, so she just sits
don't-
everything.
She's just like...
She's just sitting there.
She's just keeping her distance.
watching.
Where's her barding? Why is she naked?
I mean, it's a horse. They're always naked.
No, normally she's got barding. Hey, get out of here! Shoot! She didn't move. She may be rabid.
Call animal control.
You're right. Funny you should mention rabid because we actually come across a character who loses their mind.
Woo!
Later, we'll get into that. So anyways, going in and out of surgery, and basically it's like the steel plate that saved Blackjack's life also caved in and nearly broke her spine, or did break her spine and nearly severed her spine, and they're just dumping in like Med-X and healing potions, and it's like there's a certain level that Blackjack's like, like you'd think after drinking all these fucking healing potions I'd be healed, right? Why isn't it healing me?
Yeah.
But it's the same issue as with P21's leg. It is a convenient plot device that they aren't working. No, but I mean, I understand that there are certain things that can't be healed.
Yeah.
But surely some of them must.
I think Somber takes a more loose approach to how the healing potions heal, so that they don't heal completely, like they do in many of the other in many other side
Right.
stories. They heal like so well that you have to make sure that the bone is perfectly set before you
Right.
actually take it.
Like in Fallout Equestria, right?
Yeah.
So to me, the fact that all of a sudden that my muscles still hurt and my bones still hurt and like P21's leg is not better, like with a healing potion. Like once things have been put in place, it should theoretically be fine. But more particularly, the fact that there's just no improvement, that there's no returning of blood to the body. Like I don't know, it's just very different.
Yeah, I think there's a few different things you can take away from this. I think some of it may be explained later.
Sorry, I remember what. Sorry, I hate to interrupt. The last thing I was going to say: an infection. A healing potion should take care of an infection.
Yeah.
It's a healing potion resistant infection. A fucking what?
Well, antibody or what is it? It's antibacterial immune bacteria.
Yeah.
So no, I think what it is. There is an explanation that comes later in the book that might explain it away. I can't remember because I can't remember specifically whether it does. But I think as well, what it has to deal with is the fact that everyone in the Hoofington area decided not to put any points into medicine.
Yeah.
And so when they use the healing potion, it doesn't heal that
Except
much.
for the fact that Morning Glory trained under a top scientist of the Enclave.
Well, you remember it's all about the points you take at the beginning. If she didn't tag the perk, then she doesn't get very high in it.
Right. Okay. The gamification of it.
Yes.
I understand that it is a plot device that is being used to continue. It's just it. I feel like we've only scratched the surface of the suffering in this story.
Mhm.
It does.
Oh.
Let me say,
Hands up for everyone who wants Robert to read Murky number 7.
the suffering is well written. You're in the moment and you realize it, but at a certain point, it's like being held underwater by a wave. Have you ever been held under by breakers that
Yeah.
are pushing you down, and you come up and you get pushed down again? Right?
Yeah, it's like really weird.
At a certain point, you have to be able to come up for air.
Again, hands up
Otherwise-
for all the ones that want him to read in Murky number 7.
Otherwise, you just drown in the story.
We have Murky number 7. He can read it.
Yeah, I've heard enough about Murky. Wait, what's the book that the other the B. Sorry, not B team. That's not fair. But what the other group of guys who are reviewing a book, is it Murky number 7? What
Yeah.
they're covering?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I don't need to read it.
Yeah.
You don't. They don't want my opinion.
Well, Red Eye Airwaves or Red Eyes Airwaves
That's
or
right.
whatever. Whenever they decide to release another episode,
We are in too small of a boat to be shooting cannons
we
off.
have,
Okay.
we
All
have
right?
more than 3 episodes of
That is
anything.
true. That is true. And we've been better. However, let's get real talk. Okay? My wife is going to have our second child at the end of October. I am in the dregs right now, my friends. It is just like
It's gonna get fun.
it is full-time care for her and my son, just because it's like we're doing everything to him to get ready. So if you wonder why, Robert's not on the Discord much, if at all. This last week, I was telling him earlier, I had 5 minutes that I could do something myself all week long.
Yeah.
It's too much, man. It's too much work.
Never have children. So
No, I'm not telling you that, but there are times in your life where there's weeks or sometimes months where it's just like,
You should take him back, put him back in the store for a while.
no. Actually, Addie's been great. He really has been great. He's just mischievous. He needs constant supervision. Anyways, didn't mean to get too much, but if anybody wonders about the release schedule, that more than anything has been affecting things.
Yep.
However, we did get away last weekend. We had a lovely time. Got to
Technically, I had a lot of the people from Red Eye Airwaves over here,
yeah.
and we didn't do anything as far as recording. Which is a bummer, but
Yeah. I mean, I think a circle jerk counts as doing something, but
no.
To each their own.
This is more metaphorical.
To
about
thine
ponies.
own self be true. I jerk off him and he jerks off you.
Bah, ram you.
Oh my God. So, anyways, so things are great, but let's get to the end. Blackjack survives.
And how would they do so to keep her under, even though the fact that all these drugs together aren't
They
working?
kept hitting her with memory orbs.
Yep. Pop, pop,
And
pop,
so
pop.
she'd be like, "Oh, beautiful stars!" And here I come back. Oh my God, my organs and blood and
And
blah, blah."
beautiful
And
stars.
she's coming back, yeah. And every time she's up, she's like, "No, I need to help people. I need to help those poor zebras who've
I
been
need
shot.
to move. I need to move. And they're like, no.
I need to move it, move it. I need to move it, move it."
Is Blackjack the mayor from Madagascar?
Original King Julian.
Original King Julian.
How did that become, one, so many movies, and two, so many different TV shows?
How many Ice Ages are there?
I actually don't know.
How many Land Before Time movies are there?
How many were made by Don Bluth?
1.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
To be fair, though, Don Bluth has a weird career of making really good movies
I
and
also-
then not.
I want to clarify something. I was not sharing all those things because I wanted any kind of sympathy or applause for us making an episode. I don't at all. I just want people to understand I feel really shitty when we don't do this once a week, right?
Yeah.
I do, because how long have we been working on Project Horizons and we're just now at episode 10?
Yeah. We need to keep going.
You guys want to know when I finished reading the chapter today? Right before I hopped in the car to come to Chris's house. Literally right before.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, back to the story.
Yeah. So anyways,
They accidentally give her the
She
wrong
lives.
memory orb.
and as we're fading in and out, this simile, it was a ghost.
Too much to drink.
Not enough.
That's
actually.
true.
What is being crafted for us is this idea of playing a game of poker with death itself. I don't want to say him or her, because death seems to change, to shift in the story. It's
Yeah.
not specifically, even though we know death is a real character that we've observed in other of the fan fictions.
Yeah.
Particularly, we meet death in Pink Eyes.
Yeah, and he's
Wow. Sorry, spoiler warning.
I mean, you can still meet death.
Yeah.
Yeah. There shouldn't be a spoiler warning because you should read Pink Eyes. Just read Pink Eyes. It's damn good and it's
I
short
was gonna say,
and it's finished.
I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah.
I recommended it to my wife.
Yeah. And she's just a stick in the mud. Oh,
Yeah, that's
fun.
That's right.
I think of her as the no fun person in the room.
She didn't have any fun until she met me,
Yeah.
and I've given her way too much fun.
But enough about your private life. Let's move on.
Yeah, we keep losing it.
Okay, so we give her the wrong after the game.
Right, so she's playing poker and talking about like anteing up, and every time she's anteing up. She's wagering with she's seeing the lives of the ponies who've been destroyed because of decisions she's made.
Yep.
But she feels this weight of everything on her. Anyways, when she finally comes to, she's in the foreman's office, so the leader of the mine that they've been in. And P21 has hacked the terminal and is gathering a bunch of information. And he basically says to her, like, it's my fault. You've leaned on me to tell you when you should or should not trust someone or do something. And my not stopping you or doing something about Lancer ahead of time cost the lives of those children.
Yeah.
And Blackjack says, I was the one who did this. I brought him in. I trusted him and blah, 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 blah.
How dare you
and,
not know
right,
everything in
is about me.
Yeah.
It's always me. And P21 says, don't you take this from me. It's not always you. There's other people who are involved who make decisions here, too.
What happens when you have two narcissists in the room and both of them want to blame themselves?
Blackjack is guilty of this. She removes agency from those around her. Mm-hmm. She removes all of their own abilities to make decisions from them.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
But yes, again, they are two examples of people who have so depended on themselves and had no love from anyone else. And I get it. Blackjack's mother loved her, but it was a tough fucking love, right?
Yeah.
It was a hard love. And so that's why both...
Well, it's kind of that disassociated love that you would get out of somebody who you know. Right. Like when you know... Your child is a progeny of rape, and when you die, you're going to be recycled into food.
Right.
Like, there's only so much compassion you can have for another individual in that environment.
Right. But so what I was getting at, though, is that, like, so that's why they are the way that they are. That's their background. They've always depended on themselves. Therefore, it's very difficult for them to truly, like I said, give agency to those around them.
Absolutely.
The whole world revolves around me. My decisions impact everything. If somebody lives and dies, it's kind of this weird God complex, too. Especially once you've had some success doing that.
Yeah.
Blackjack makes a joke like, well, what are you supposed to do? You were going to shove dynamite up his ass and blow him to kingdom fucking come?
And B21's like,
Yeah. Well, and kind of chuckles, like, gets red and thinks that's a little bit, like, grotesque but funny.
Lascivious bastard.
Anyways, and then we have a very similar conversation with Morning Glory. Actually, P21 and Morning Glory have this big spat. Where and I think this was when she was fading in and out of consciousness, and he's like, why don't you just fucking go to the Enclave and get resources and supplies from them? And she's like, I can't.
They'll kill me.
Right. All the defense systems that keep you out of the skies.
It's kind of a hinted thing that the whole project that she was a part of was actually just this thing for the Enclave to get rid of any of the dissenting voices.
So they were the Occupy Wall Streets of their society, and what they did was they said, all right, we'll just send you to the surface. Yes, fine. We'll let you go. Go die there.
Yeah. That way they won't be feeding any ideas of rebellion against the Enclave.
Well, and that was actually, we found out that Morning Glory, the reason why she knows so much medical stuff, particularly why she would attempt a spinal surgery on Blackjack, is that she studied under the tutelage of a great doctor/surgeon within the Enclave Society. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean anything to us, but she kind of explains that, I was actually kind of regarded as a prodigy. I was exposed to lessons my first year in school that I should have never had the opportunity to do. But there's a schism between her and her mentor in that he is like, you're wasting your talents, going down to the surface is bullshit. Don't go.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
And she's like, you're just old and uncaring and you don't love anything because love will heal all.
Friendship is
magic, right?
Well, no, I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting that we have a Pegasus character who's so good at something that they kind of elevate themselves above everyone else, and their adult mentor criticizes them so heavily for going under the surface that they are now cast there. I forgot which book are we talking. I'm sorry, Somber. I really am. I just think that's a little neat inclusion into the story that they happen to be very similar to Calamity.
It is the vanity and the narcissism between Velvet Remedy?
Yes.
Yes, sorry. It's been a while since we read that book.
Yep.
And P21.
Yeah.
They were both regarded as sex objects.
Yep.
Sexual ponies.
I would
By the
say-
way, Sex Ponies is playing the Blind Tiger next Friday. We should go see them.
Oh, yeah. The interesting point, and there is a dichotomy there.
It's a good word.
It is a good word.
You know what's one of my favorite words? Verdant.
I would thought it was interruption because you interrupt the fuck out of me.
You know what? Go fuck yourself.
So anyway, P21 and Velvet Remedy, yes, they're very similar, but they are opposite in the fact that Velvet Remedy controlled her sexuality to control those around her. Yes, she absolutely took advantage of Little Pip's attraction to her multiple times in the story, including the beginning, where P21 was a slave due to his sexuality.
Sure. I thought for sure you were going to say, of course they're different. One was a man, and one was a woman.
All I'm saying is P21 is a whore.
Well, I have said that before. I think that is a direct quote.
That is a direct quote, and I was like, what the hell? No.
But we also, you know, Blackjack would like to ride his haunches.
Yep.
Or whatever the horse equivalent of the reverse of the. You know what? Y'all do the math. I'm sure you can figure it out.
Yeah.
Also, in one of them, so let's get into one of the memory orbs. Let's skip forward a little bit.
Yeah.
There's an important memory orb.
They grabbed the wrong one and put her into one that is far more complicated and reveals more to the story.
Long. Speaking of long, she is a Pegasus pony in the memory, a male Pegasus pony in the memory, and she knows she's a male because of the long pedundum,
Yes.
particularly.
And let's break into that joke from Austin Powers.
Which one?
Long Johnson.
Ah, yes, of course. It's been a while since I've seen those films. Those
For those that actually remember when they
treasured
came
pieces.
out.
So you got to remember, Chris. Think about our audience. So we're millennials, right?
Yeah.
We got all these Zoomers. They don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, technically, no, we're both boomers now.
Oh, right. We're millennial boomers.
Yeah, we're boomers.
Great.
Sorry, kids, we're boomers.
I love that boomer's just the insult. Like like you're not actually a baby boomer because nobody knows what a baby boomer is anymore.
Yeah, and they're mostly
Like
dying
our
off.
parents were baby boomers.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of our millennial peers' parents were Gen Xers.
Yeah.
If that.
Well, we were at the beginning of the millennials. We're literally like the first year, I think.
No, millennials started in 1981.
It was 81?
No, we're actually closer to the end of the millennials.
I thought it was actually like 87, 89.
Millennials are considered when you come into adulthood, like as a teenager / end of teenager. That's what's considered a millennial, and we became teenagers.
I thought it was somebody who was lazy and complained about doing a hard day's work.
That is true.
Sorry, boomer.
I want to point something out though.
Boomer.
Compared to the millennials, which has become a pejorative as boomer.
Yeah.
We are both in careers. We are both homeowners. We own the vehicles that we drive, and we are not under mountains of crippling debt.
Yet.
Yeah. And I would actually say we're fairly representative. You didn't complete your college education. I did.
Yeah.
So that's where my crippling debt that you don't have is. But it's not crippling.
No.
Because I went to a state school.
Moomers. I don't like the sound of that, moomers.
I don't like the idea of being a moomer, particularly when we've got like Brahmin and shit in, Fallout Equestria.
Yeah. I think boomers were a faction in New Vegas.
So the memory orb starts off male Pegasus fighting.
Not
in
enough
the
memes
skies.
about those, by the way. Get on the internet.
Fighting in the skies, killing griffins. Although it's very clear that Blackjack doesn't know what a griffin is because she just describes what they are, but does not name them.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you'd think somewhere in a history book there'd be a picture of a fucking griffin. They were kind of important.
Well, you know that some of the stables had various re-education policies, such as...
Maybe if we don't teach them that there's griffins, they'll never know that they are, and it'll just go away.
Yeah, the griffins will just leave.
That's right. They'll cease to exist. If I don't look at you, you don't exist. Oh my God, where did Chris go?
There's an Onion article about how to deal with the millennials who have problems with object permanence. How are you expect to graduate if you don't know if you haven't passed like the 2-year-old version
Considering
of
that 10% of the population has no inner monologue, I think that's far more troubling. Like none, just like they're animals, they just react.
Yeah.
Sorry. And
That's rude.
That's all races, baby. That's everybody.
Yeah.
That's the great equalizer, the no inner monologue.
Yeah. Work retail for 7 years, kids.
Oh, my God.
Asshole has no demographic. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's all anyone. Anyone can be an asshole.
There's a Instagram I follow, and there's this great picture, and it's all these hands in a circle, and it's clearly people of different ethnic and racial backgrounds, and it says, "We're all trash."
Yeah. Fucking furries. Anyway.
Hey, that's right. I may be trash, but at least I'm not a degenerate furry.
I mean... Anyway, trying to get back onto the point here, because we're going off on a wild tangent.
Right, so Griffin's dying. Turns out the skies are also being populated by giant fucking dragons that the zebras have brought in. And dragons like we've never seen before with mounted snipers on the back of them, like a dragon that was 3 times the size that the one that Blackjack fought.
Yeah.
Enormous. Ancient dragons.
Mm-hmm.
In D&D, these fuckers would be like challenge rating 15 or something. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about some crazy-ass dragons.
I feel like a mounted sniper on a dragon would definitely make the challenge rating higher than 15.
And anyway, so we go down. They got to go down and reload. They're basically defending a hill. And at the top of the hill is old Big Macintosh.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just cool, calm,
while all the
collected.
other ones are swearing up a storm, talking about down with the Zeebs.
Boom, 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 boom. Now, is Big Macintosh in a suit of armor?
I think he's in a suit of armor, but you have to remember that the power armor was after the fact.
It was in its infancy, right?
Well, no, it was created by Applejack as a response to her brother's death.
To his death, right?
So,
but
power
anyway,
armor did not exist at the time.
So he's just cool and cool as a cute. He's literally chewing on a piece of grass mid-fight, and all these others are like their colonel had been assassinated. They described him as having a helmet with 1 gold bar on the top with a bullet hole in the middle. It's like, well, it is kind of a target, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, what's the chain of command? Well, the chain of command now is Big Macintosh is in charge.
On top of the hill.
That's right. And, they're just marveling at all of this incredible strength. And what Blackjack really marvels at is the tremendous heroism. Even this weak, scientific-looking pony, this like weak, small pony, when a zebra climbs the top of the hill and comes in, she breaks into, hoof-to-hoof combat and kills the fucker, right?
Yep.
And she's like, this is heroism like I've never seen. She's like, I'm inspired standing here watching this. And, and Big Macintosh, they're like, we need to leave the hill. And he's like, whatever's here, those zebras are willing to lose a lot of life to get to it. I reckon we'll stay.
Yeah. Well, here's a trick. Statue behind us that Blackjack's on?
Yeah.
Yeah, guess who?
Big Macintosh.
Big Macintosh.
For that battle. Anyways, and...
Celestia bless Equestria.
But anyways, and then what we hear is that the Wonderbolts are the Shadow Bolts? Wonderbolts, Shadow Bolts?
I think they're Wonderbolts in this.
They are.
I believe they're still the Wonderbolts in this. I think the Shadow Bolts come after the fall of Equestria.
Well, anyways, so they say the Wonderbolts will be here in 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden, in a tight formation, followed by a rainbow, the motherfucking Wonderbolts show up and just like wreck shit.
Yeah.
And Blackjack even is observing during the fight that like they're not invincible, but they're literally like they strafe one of the giant dragons and his head just like explodes.
Yep.
I mean, they're just incredible.
Led by the great Air Admiral Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow Dash. Yeah, talk about somebody who fought on the front lines.
Yeah, and I like the internal conflict. There is something that's brought up about Morning Glory when it comes to Rainbow Dash, which seems to come up a lot, and I think it only comes up in Project Horizons in the sense where they're like, "Gosh, she could have done so much if only she had waited." It's like, when?
Well, and in her mind, she's like needed to wait 20 years.
Yeah, it's like no.
She was already an older mayor. She was on the farther side of middle age.
She was
they
graying.
All were.
Yeah,
right.
they all had gray hair or graying hair. The thing is, and moreover, on top of that, it's like, they should have just waited. Waited till when? Waited. Why would 20 years have mattered? Why would what about 20 years would have changed things? It wouldn't have changed anything. Yeah. The Enclave, the Pegasus had made up their mind. They had gone back on their idea of the perfect equestrian society and rescinded their communal interaction with the other two sub-races of ponies. They had said no.
Well, they'd become race supremacists.
They had become racial supremacists, and they had lost their capital. They had seen that as a great strike to them, and they said, no, our kind is leaving. We can leave. Let us go. And so they closed off everything. Yeah.
Go, let a Pegasus go to the sky.
Go to hell.
I love. There's one line in this that I really like, where she talks about Morning Glory talks about like what happens to defectors who are Dashites.
Yeah.
And she said some of them go and find feral clouds to live amongst.
Yeah.
And I want a whole fucking story about fucking feral clouds, right? Like, doesn't that sound great?
There's a joke in the
Like,
show.
what's a feral cloud?
It was I think it's actually in the second episode. It might be the first, but I think it's the second episode when they go into the Everfree Forest. And this perfectly explains how the ponies view the world around them, at least in Lauren Faust's eyes. Obviously, I think this mentality completely changed in the later seasons, where they go out to the Everfree Forest and they're like, you don't get it. Animals take care of themselves. The clouds move, and weather happens all on its own. And it's this idea that they're so broken apart from a world which is so catered by them to them.
That the idea of true nature, right?
Nature is terrifying.
Natural order. Well, it's like, I love the story that you told me about that, like the Earth ponies like clear the snow away at the end of winter.
Yeah.
But not because they actually have to.
Just because they're tired of it.
Well, but also because it's like Celestia gave them some shit to do, right? To make them feel special.
Well, yeah, but no, literally one of the lines in Winter Wrap-Up is, this fashion's getting kind of old.
That's what a season is to you. It's just like, it's fucking little girls' toys. That's what it's based off of. I'm tired of this scarf being on Twilight Sparkle. It's time for her beach attire.
But the idea of that being an origin for an entire world is fascinating.
Sure, that's totally
the running of the leaves, where autumn fall, like the whole leaves falling off the tree things, only happens because the ponies have to run like stampede across the land to knock all the leaves down. It's just fucking hilarious.
Sure.
It's great.
I suppose.
It's this interesting kind of world building.
Back in the memory orb, in the fight. This goes on for a long time in the chapter, by the way, so that's why we're hanging on to it.
There's a whole bunch of name drops in this as well.
Yeah, that mean nothing to me.
Yeah, well,
none of these fucking names mean anything to me. They're describing the coat of a pony and what their cutie mark looks like, and I'm like, that means something to somebody, but I don't fucking give a shit.
A lot of these characters are specific to the story.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, interestingly, you may remember one that kept praying after they killed somebody.
Yes, the all black pony, the sniper pony.
Yes.
Celestia, forgive me, I have taken a life.
If you go,
but at the same time, it's like blam, 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 like sick effectiveness, right?
In Fallout 3, when you make your way to the Galaxy News radio station, right when you make your way into the plaza in front of the place, if you go up to the second story and start sniping, there will be one of the Brotherhood of Steel actually doing the prayers every time. Like, as he's shooting, Lord, forgive me, for I have sinned, for I have taken the life of my brother. Yeah, every single time.
Wow.
Yeah, that's actually
cool,
an interesting
cool little
homage.
Easter egg. Little Easter egg. I guess Easter doesn't exist.
Apparently, K-Cat says that it's homage.
Oh no.
Apparently, there's actually a variation between homage and homage. There's actually a separate definition with a different vernacular.
You're one of those people. You're one of those people who doesn't say forte. You say fort. Penn Jillette claims that that's the correct pronunciation of that word, to which I respond.
Penn Jillette and K-Cat are both wrong, however. It is homage and forte.
Penn Jillette is K-Cat.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
It makes complete sense.
Oh my god! Teller's Mimzinga. We've never heard his voice.
Yes, we have.
I know we have.
Technically, we haven't heard K-Cat's voice, so K-Cat is Teller, and Mimzinga is Penn Jillette.
You're so right. Except Mimzinga doesn't sound anything like Penn Jillette.
Penn Jillette's such a good actor, though. That's what it is.
Mimzinga, it's the wrong country. Mimzinga has this whole Ricardo Montalban thing about him.
Oh, yeah. This deep European.
Yes, whatever the is.
I mean,
he's either gonna pour you a glass of wine, or finger your butthole.
No, he's either going to pour you a glass of wine or pour molten gold down your throat.
Well, I mean, there is that too. Anyways, let's wrap up this memory orb. Basically, the Wonderbolts are just wrecking shit up, which is great, but our subject gets shot out of the sky.
Yep. Feels some kind of massive pain in the back of their head.
But Big Macintosh eventually says, it's time for us to go.
Yeah.
After they have literally covered a hillside in dead zebras. It's like if they were willing to lose this many lives, there's something here that they want real bad.
Yeah.
It does make you wonder. There were no dragons that fought for Celestia during the war, did they? They were all for the zebras.
Because the Dragon Nation is a nation.
Right.
And were persuaded to work with the zebras.
Where did Celestia get... I remember a plot line being Celestia had all these eggs, right? Celestia had a dragon.
Because of the mouse.
Right.
Remember Mouse and Lion at the end?
Of course, yes.
Mouse was the dragon.
The dragon at the castle in Canterlot,
mm-hmm.
right? But you'd think that they would have she would have a better relationship with more than that dragon,
Well,
right?
dragons take a while to age, and remember, there were a few child dragons.
No. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there's a world that dragons exist, right?
Yeah.
There's not one.
Yeah.
Right? There's not 6. There's many.
Mm-hmm.
I get that she has a relationship with one.
Yeah.
But you would think that it's just bad diplomacy that they don't have a better relationship with such powerful creatures.
I get the feeling that bad diplomacy was what led to a lot of Fallout Equestria.
You think so?
Yeah.
Anyways. So we're out of the memory orb.
And I'm out of wine.
Where do we go from here?
Well, I guess there's actually one last place to go to.
When they actually leave. Yeah. So Blackjack is just mangled all to hell. She can barely walk, barely stand, but she wants to, as a sign of good faith. We also neglected to say, everyone and their mom is coming to this place to fuck shit up, kill Blackjack, and take the bounty.
Which is why they need to leave.
The main faction of the Picos are coming to, clean up.
Yep.
So, where was I going with that? Right, they're coming to clean house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Blackjack has to go, and they're telling her to go west. Was it west that they were originally trying to convince her to go?
I believe so.
But she's like, why don't I just go south? They're coming from the east. They're coming from this direction. Why don't I go in the opposite direction in the south? Right?
Yeah. They'll see that I'm not here. They'll go through camp. They'll see that I'm not here, and they'll leave.
We did miss a note. We forgot about the zombie pony.
Oh, yeah.
The pony that lost her mind.
Yeah, the pony that very slowly started turning feral.
And tried to eat Blackjack.
Mm-hmm.
Was eating herself, chewing on herself.
She was hungry.
Blackjack, having no way to defend herself because she doesn't have her barding, she doesn't have her weapons, she focuses telekinetic energy, and because it's all she can think of, and creates a telekinetic bullet that, after several tries, literally shoots right through the skull. Mm-hmm. So it's a new ability, new perk. So Blackjack is like, I need to show strength for all these 150 plus slaves that are going to now try and stand and fight. And so she's like injecting herself with Stampede.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and taking Med-X, which is more drugs, and it's like, gotta do something, gotta go. I have to stand and be strong. And give me my barding, put on my barding, which is now dented in, so it doesn't really ride the way that it's supposed to. But she does manage to do it, and it's like, I need to show them that I'm strong. Well, she does, and as they get out there and go, the foreman, the leader of the mine, who's been beaten within an inch of his life, who's just bruised all to hell, like literally swollen with bruises,
mm-hmm.
is covered in, well, I should say, before I get to it, P-21 is able to single-hoofedly, mm-hmm. remove the explosive collars from all the slaves.
High explosive.
Which he has now connected to the foreman.
Yeah, they're like covering all of it.
And he's basically like, and Blackjack, we're giving you the honor to hit the big red button and blow him to kingdom fucking come.
And she's like,
be
the
kind.
fuck is wrong with you ponies?
Be kind.
This is grotesque.
Be kind. But what she stands up and gives a speech and basically says, what's done is done. Yeah. And every time we take a life, the war continues.
Yeah.
And the war will not end until we stop taking lives. big words from someone who's taken a lot of lives.
Yeah.
But still. And she says, we have to be kind. We have to be better. We have to be kind.
And then P21 loses his shit and is like, "What the fuck's wrong with you? How dare?"
There's some sick sense of justice. You don't understand justice. You don't. I'll hit that friggin'
when a mayor does this, when she constantly goes after you, when she kills everything, how dare she? And
Are you saying that she pushed P21's button?
well, the thing is that P21 keeps saying her, and it's like the foreman's a dude, and you go going, P21, you got a little bit of a problem there,
Yeah.
buddy.
Anyways, so yeah, they don't respond well to that.
No.
She may have stirred up something, but they had the decency to wait until she was out of line of sight before they hit the button and killed
And
her.
they hit the button.
Yeah, of course they did. Because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah. It's very difficult to say in that circumstance what the correct action to do is. I mean, it's something that we always have an issue with, but
Yeah.
to more or less extent.
And that's basically the chapter.
Yeah. Well, no, there's one last thing. There's the zebra. They do leave with the
That's
zebra.
right.
And she tells a story.
Right, of the king.
Of the king. And the foolish pony.
Yeah.
The foolish pony who did all these
Through
things.
their actions,
Through their
helps others.
accidents, helped others. Through their unintentional just circumstances, they helped so many around them. And they still thought that they had caused so many problems.
Right. And yet they had done good.
Yeah.
You know. And being a perfect simile for Blackjack.
Yeah. I like how the story ends where Blackjack's like, it sounds like there's a moral to this, and the zebra's like,
That
Sakashi.
spoils the fun.
It's like, no, it spoils the story. There's no moral.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. The old rabbinic way of teaching. There's no answer. There's lots of answers. So why else would you tell the story? You're trying to make me think about something. It means something different to everyone else. God damn it. You and your freaking Talmud think you're so fucking clever. Anyways, but the chapter ends with her looking at the skeletal remains of a pony, and she envisions it looking at her saying, "Annie up."
Annie up.
Yeah.
I am the up.
In the simile, metaphor, whatever, where she's talking about playing a game of poker with all these lives, she's like, "I just want to take my chips and leave," and it's like,
you don't get to cash out. You'll always Annie up.
no, you will cash out.
Yeah.
But until then,
Annie up.
Annie up. So that's the chapter. That was a lot.
Oh yeah, why are you so perky? Why am I so kinky? Perky.
Perky. Energized, excited. So, yeah, I think we did a pretty good job sharing our thoughts on that,
Yep.
our impressions of that specifically. I do have to say that we have lost track of the Pony Pun of the Week.
Yeah.
Him, her, she, it, whatever, they were out rabble-rousing. It's the popular thing to do right now, and I honest to God, don't know where the Pony Pun of the Week is.
No.
This is not the first time this has happened. The Pony Pun has had a little bit of a history with a little peyote, a little bit of, maybe a little H, a little heroin. And the Pony Pun's always hitting them doobs.
Yep.
So we need your help. We need your help finding the Pony Pun of the Week.
Now, if you see at least something that looks like the Pony Pun of the Week, something at all.
Right, and they may not look like what you expect.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been doing some hardcore stuff. So,
sunken eyeballs. I mean, like they're little pokes that's like pecking at the skin. Yeah, that's stuff.
Would you even really call them eyes? It's just like two dots, right?
No.
Are they eyes?
Well, they're sunken regardless.
I've always thought it was like the Reggie from Pokemon. It's just like, what is it? It's
True.
So if you see the Pony Pun of the Week, let us know. Let us know in the Discord. That's a good thing to remind you. You will look in the comment section below, or if you're listening to the audio podcast, we have one hell of a Discord channel. We would love to see you on there. And I would be remiss to say, if you'd like to email us, you certainly can. I don't know why you would, but that would be at cbpbch@gmail.com. Again, cbpbch@gmail.com. Last but not least, there are a couple of great supporters of the show that help Chris and I pay for the server and for the editing costs and those kinds of things. And eventually, if we're able to get enough support, we'll be able to upgrade our equipment, which we are incredibly appreciative for everyone that comments and shares and for those that support us on Patreon. And we would like to thank them. So if you will read off everyone.
We have newly joined O'Malley Caboose.
Thank you.
We have Arcus Acer, or Arcus Acre.
Thank you.
We have Moon 45 Sun.
Thank you.
We have a hard time reading from this far away because my glasses need new ones. Tinker.
Thank you. And that's it. So, by all means, nobody has to, but for those who do, we greatly appreciate it. It means the world.
If you can't and you still want to support us somehow, just come on the Discord and
Yeah,
we can hang out.
hang out with us.
Maybe we can come up with some kind of decision where we can do like a game or something. There was a thing where we did Solaris for like 8 hours or something. I don't remember. It was a long match.
I
was worn the hell out.
You and I now have the Master Chief Collection, so if somebody wants to play Halo, we can do that. If you want to like reminisce with a bunch of millennial boomers, we can totes do that.
And if you want to play, we don't have the new Halo Doom game. We don't have that yet. But maybe.
You know what, guys?
Someday.
Gals, mares, colts.
Stallions,
yes.
That was a weird one from the wedding where they were like, I now pronounce you mare and colt. And it's like, colt?
Ooh.
Well, this is the verbiage. It must have rolled off the tongue better because, like,
Yikes.
that's a child. That's a...
Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend.
Down the road and back again.
That's right. Thank you, Droopy. Thank you, Alternative Lifestyle, Droopy.
Well, it's only before alternative lifestyle first mate Shmee.
That's also true. So,
Of course, you have to plow back your cheek like this and talk like, Mr. Shmee. For Captain Hook.
for Chris, I'm Robert. This has been the Foally of Man. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. And we will see y'all next time.
Have fun.